Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. So this is the game. This is the episode about the review for the Newcastle game, which was a victory as we wanted, and then preview for the Manchester United game that we are about to have at Old Trafford with the interim manager. So I've got Bob back. Hi Bob.
Hey, how are you going?
Good. Hey Arun, welcome
Hello.
back. So guys, let's get this going because this is going to be, we talk a lot even if we are talking about one game and then we have to talk about two games. So I guess we just have to get going. So the first thing is, right, Newcastle game, there were a lot of surprises for me. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but especially
Surprises in terms of what?
like the starting lineup, right?
The result, I think.
Yeah, maybe the way they played the first half, there's 2-0 definitely a surprise.
but no, the starting lineup especially, right? After Liverpool, I thought maybe it's time for Tierney to come back into the team and Sambi to drop out of the team, and then Arteta kind of picked the same team except Lacazette, and he brought back Odegaard in, which is a completely different discussion that we should have. But retaining Lokonga, Nuno, and Sambi.
Lokonga and Sambi, the same guy.
Sorry, Nuno and
Vijay,
Sambi.
wake up, Vijay, wake
up. No, Nuno and Sambi, those two, retaining those two, right, Bob? That was a very surprising decision because last episode when we kind of recorded everything, we were thinking that, okay, this is time for Tierney to come back. Especially this is a game this is going to be a easier game when compared to United to come back or some other game to come back. But Arteta kind of stuck to to these players.
Right. So the way that I look at it, right? So I have a different viewpoint for Lokonga and as well a different one for Tavares. Continuing on. With Lokonga, he would have actually looked at the bench and then he would have pretty much looked at Elneny smiling and Maitland-Niles, and then probably he felt Lokonga could do a half-decent job ahead of them. So, and then it as well looks at in a way that, I mean, if you drop a player at this earlier stage of development, probably it shatters the confidence more than anything. And considering the opposition that we were playing against in Newcastle, he probably thought, I mean, let's not, or I mean, I even think that Lokonga could have bounced back from the defeat and then he could have gone on through things in training which might have prompted Arteta to choose him ahead of Elneny or Maitland-Niles. Now coming to Tierney, that was as well surprising for me because I felt that although I didn't join the preview pod, I felt that probably Tierney would have earned his place back. Now what it means is if he is not injured, then it means that it shows a serious message that every position, or at least some of these positions, are under threat. And if you don't perform to the levels that the manager is expecting, it's you could easily be upsetted, and that's really good in a team, considering we are a professional.
But Bob, Tierney was never not playing to the expectation of the manager. He got injured. He did not drop off.
No. He didn't drop off, but he did regain his place in the national team. He played both those qualifiers. The World Cup qualifiers during the international break. But for him to get back into the team, he needs to prove that he can do better than what Tavares is actually doing in the left back position. And what I saw glimpses of what Tavares played during the game. He was almost unstoppable. And if you have a player of such potential,
he's still running around the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, if you have a player of such potential and such space who could hurt the opposition, why not actually stick with him? I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. You're just going to improve the team, and at the end of the day, That's what matters, right? What the set of players that who are put forth for a game and who can help deliver some results in a positive way. That's what counts. And I mean, although we saw that he made a horror pass in the Liverpool game. He's made up for it with this attitude, just like what we saw with Lokanga. So I think it's just it's good that the manager is sticking on rather than having to fall back to familiar players and all those sort of things. And it as well means that everyone should earn their place, which should it be rightly the case.
Yeah, but Arun,
if I can
yeah.
just add on something here, for me it was like Bob said, the fact that the manager is actually backing his players, like Nuno and Sambi both are his signings. He wanted those two players. Like Bob said, at this point, it's not just about the age, but it's also about the player in himself, because he was like brought in on demands of the manager. So at that point, you drop the player after a game like this, it's going to shatter his confidence completely. And I don't like, though we wanted Katie, I felt like even in spite of the what Nuno did against Liverpool, this was probably the right opposition for him to like come back to form if we ever wanted him to. Same thing with Sambi. Like imagine had we played a United or a Chelsea the next game, forget about their form, but the fact that it's a big opposition would always be playing on the minds of these youngsters who are 20. Like, so that would be added pressure. Whereas this game, there was pressure, but there was not enough pressure to make them feel that they are going to be having a torrid time, because we were playing at home. It was Newcastle or 20th in the league, and we knew that we would win. So given all that, I found that this was like a really good game to like get them back into their get them back in confidence. So I kudos to the manager for sticking by his youngsters. That's a big thing for me.
Actually, that was interesting. I think Arsenal Vision podcast, Elliot kind of mentioned this.
I never heard that. Not influenced by that.
No.
My own thoughts.
No, like what he mentioned was the manager making those comments, even about Aaron Ramsdale, right? When they were talking about why he was signed by Arsenal, he mentioned that he liked the way Ramsdale picked himself up after a mistake was made. So I think that is one of the important things that Arteta is looking for.
Yeah, probably they might have had an interview. The first question would have been, "Why do we fall, Master Bruce?"
I wouldn't mind having a Michael Caine commentary all over the All or Nothing documentary for sure.
Who would?
But again, right? Like Arun, sticking to you, right? Nuno Tavares. For who will score first? Nuno or Partey from shoot all over the place?
Well, Partey already got one, but then like I believe that.
But that was not one of his trademark
one of his shots, but just based on the goal probabilities, just like given the fact that those string of 7 shots that Nuno took, the maximum possibility of goal out of the 7 shots was 5%. Given that damning stat, I feel that Partey's goals have a higher possibility, and I'm believing that he's going to score first.
Yeah, so if the goal post was in rosette, yes, possibly 5%, yes, I think. Yeah.
But Nuno's shots were like all from the side. At some point, I don't know what the instruction was. All that he had to do was
looking. Even when he took a shot, I pretty much know for sure that it's going to be a goalkeeper.
but again, Arun, like that was a very good game for both our fullbacks, not just Nuno, right? And it kind of
Tomiyasu had a good game. Oh my God, Tomiyasu had like a fantastic game.
Not just defensively. And when we consider Tomiyasu, we always consider a game defensively as fantastic.
Yeah.
But this was an offensive game that was a masterclass from Tomiyasu. But the interesting thing about this was that we moved away from the typical Arteta defensive
left side
block.
overload.
Not just that, right? Like we always have one of the, like even when Arteta started, we had this overload of where someone needs to drop back at the left back position, making it a back 3, and then the rest of the team bombing forward. But this was a game where, our back 2 stayed true, and then Partey stayed as a triangle sort of, instead of dropping completely into the left back or the right back slot. While in recent times, what we did was we would have the back 2, and then Tomiyasu would stay as the third defender. so that we have a back three to with possession. But this game, it completely changed. So is this showing, or is this a way that Arteta is showing, like, okay, this is how we could attack too?
I would like to think so. Honestly, I would like to think that this is the way we want to attack, like not having restrictions and having both your fullbacks push up, but with the insurance that it's not going to cost us a goal. But I believe this was a situation based on the opposition. I believe this was again because of the fact that we are playing a 20th place team that have not have a great defense. They might have scored more goals than us, but then the goal difference was negative, which shows how bad the difference was. And luckily for us, like how it normally happens, the goalkeeper did not become a beast. So usually in a national game against teams like this, the goalkeeper becomes a different beast and saves everything. That didn't happen. So for me, I it was probably made. I don't think that we were even if we're playing at home again. Even if it is a team that is like 10 to 15, I don't see us playing this again. It's probably right now. I believe that it's only because of the opposition. It gave us an opportunity. There were opportunities for us to push forward from both sides, which Nuno was always the highest on top. So our usual gameplay is we keep pushing on the left with Stomias to the right-sided defender tucking in or like being more conservative. He doesn't. We do the left side overload. But this game, it was probably because of the opposition. I cannot add another. I cannot give you another reason. I really don't think there was
I
any
probably
other
felt that we were a bit lucky with our decisions, the refereeing decisions going our way.
Bob, you're not
Because for
supposed to talk about
sure,
Sorry,
no,
go on, go on.
it happened. It happened in our favor for a change, and that's probably why I wanted to highlight, because I probably showed for the pull from Ben White was a penalty in 90% of the cases. Had Mike Dean be there, it would have been
For sure, penalty and a sent off.
and then sort of a thing. So I probably felt we got a bit lucky there, and we capitalized on it. So it was a day where most of the things worked in our favor.
Well, most, Bob. I was about to get to the question, right, where Aubameyang didn't work at all, and
I said most. I didn't say everything.
but again, right, Aubameyang's miss of that sitter, I thought was going to be very costly, right? Especially in that context of the game where we were not creating enough. We were playing a lot, but we were not creating enough, and then that was a chance that was gilt edge put on plate for Aubameyang. That is the sort of chances that he takes, day in and day out. But him missing there, it was a very big miss, Bob. And is this? I mean, I was worried a little bit about Aubameyang in general, but is this marking the complete, proving the point that okay, this play is done?
No, that happened almost the day that he signed the contract. I think ever since that, it's been on the decline. There's not been any games that you could significantly say Abbas turned around, all by himself. Maybe a few games that he did with, I think, signing the contract with all this, the FA Cup displays and all those sort of things. But post that, there isn't anything significant that I could think of. It's been on the decline all along. And every time that he plays or he misses, it just deepens further the decline when you look at that side of things.
Let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off, but let me ask you this. Since we are talking about like his form has declined since the day he signed the contract, are we attaching, like, I don't know how it's playing in his mind. He's a professional footballer. I do not think that the fact that he's earning 350K per week is going to be pressurizing him, and that I don't think that's how like they work at that level. Maybe if it's a youngster you could say that, but he's like 31 years old. The thing is, like, is the fact that 350K per week, are we like putting too much attention to it? Because it's not like Auba is not trying on the pitch, right? So let's see, if you just consider both Ozil and Auba, the way in which Ozil was playing after the 350K and the way in which the results are different. I agree.
Yeah, but Arun, right? Like for me, the
no,
point.
The thing is, like, I do not see a lack of motivation. Is what I'm
No,
trying
no,
to say.
no.
Because,
See, I think we are completely, I mean, talking about two different things here. Ozil never had the attitude to play. And for that, I really didn't like the fact that the way that he treated himself, putting himself injured every day and then, not turning up for games. And then talking bullshit in social media and stuff. So for that, I never really supported Ozil the way that
true.
he revolted against the club.
So
But
that's where I'm
Oba's
coming.
situation is different. Oba
Yeah.
is actually trying,
Yes.
but his results are still, not being effective. And
True.
if you look
So
at
that's why
professionally at a football club,
yeah, and that's why I wanna ask you guys. Yeah, we do see that he is, trying. We do see that he is trying a lot on the pitch. It's not just about like what he's doing as a captain, but as a player, he's trying. It's we just not getting the results. So
absolutely.
so like, how can we say it's in decline? But do you guys feel that he is still coming back? Like, is it just going to be downward? That's what I want to, because we are talking about Oba all the time. It's a different factor that he's not fitting our style of play. He's struggling, he's trying hard. But is it like just a downward from now on? Like, do we not get that? Do you feel that we're not going to get anything out of him from here on?
See, for me, it's the matter of like what kind of a reputation he has with Arsenal fans or with anyone, right? We have been patient till now. We are not asking for Oba to be sold. We are asking for like, why is he not gaining back? If he's not gaining back, what do we do? Right? But that is on the reputation of those seasons where he kind of carried us entirely on his back. Those 2 seasons where he played out of his skin, where he scored everywhere, right? But there would be a point in time where we would be running out of, okay, this is fine. The player has given us something, we have given him back something, right? The player has given us goals, the player has carried our team during our worst periods. We are good, and we gave him time to prove himself. Doesn't matter if he gives his all or not. At the end of the day, Arsenal has to benefit from a player, right? Or else he is not for Arsenal. So we are giving him time, but the time is running out. And as long as it is running out, and we are not asking him to be sold, we are asking him to be dropped, which is a two different thing, which is completely different from whatever we were thinking. So that's what my stand on Oba is, and I think that's where most of the Arsenal fans are. They are not hating the player; they are hating the fact that he's out of form from the moment that
Every time when I see Oba's name on the team sheet before the start of a game, I feel like it could be a ketchup bottle opening situation. So it will take a long time to come out, but once it starts coming out, you can never stop it. Every time I'll think that this is going to be a breakthrough game for Oba, and then he's going to score, and then he's going to start scoring again all along. But that situation has not happened. I've not given hope on him yet, and I still support him. I still stand by him, even though he doesn't score, he misses sitters and all those sort of things. He's still our captain. And and as I said, it's completely different to the way that I treat and think about Ozil during his last days at the club. He is still playing for the badge, and I totally respect him for the way that he tries on with things. He's not been lucky enough in some of these situations, and that's just poor luck, that I would say. And it's not reflective in his attitude. He's still trying to put through himself in 100% in all the games, and it's just a matter of time, is what I think of.
So how do probably, like, we are facing a conundrum now, right? Probably the best way to get him back to form is play him back to form, but then we are having trouble when he's playing as well. So it's I don't know how we are going to get over this.
Ultimately, I feel in a way that this club is evolving, especially with the striker situation. We'll be forced to go into the market with, like I said, coming towards the end of the contract, and towards January, we'll have some picture of who we are going to look for or who we are potentially going to replace. The burden will be sort of shared with the other striker coming in, and potentially in a season, probably towards next summer, I feel we'll be facing out on Oba. In a similar way that we are doing with Pepe at the moment.
Maybe like a new striker who scores goals could possibly make him think that he has actual competition, rather than like someone like I said, who's not known to be a goal scorer. That could also be possibly light the fire under his ass.
Yeah, but again, that is a bridge that we'll cross when we get there. For now, it's just that question of like, Oba is not creating the goals or not making the goals that we need. And right now that's
He's
the
just being a
problem.
passenger. That's the problem. He's just being a passenger.
Yeah. So that's a problem for the manager to solve right now. That's our thoughts on Auba, I guess. But talking about Auba, we should be talking about the attack in general, right? This was a game of where some of the attack clicked, some did not, right? Especially in the first half, nothing seemed to work. We were not doing anything, and then suddenly Saka decides that he wants a goal, and he switches to the other side. He was playing on the right. He switches to the left, where him, ESR, and Nuno kind of created an overload, and the goal was pretty much very good. Created by Nuno and scored by Saka. That was a very good goal to score for the first one. But again, this again he kind of went into a is that an injury scare, Arun?
For Saka?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was walking, albeit gingerly, but he was walking. He was able to walk out, and there was no ice pack when he was sitting there, and he seemed to be normal. I am hoping that it is not an injury, because I am not ready to see Pepe there against United. So I am hoping that it's not an injury. Yeah, I think it's probably, even if it was some sort of, but knowing Saka, I believe that he's going to start. He's going to be there. But even if there was some sort of discomfort, it probably would be coming in the second half. But he's going to be involved in the game for sure. Because like I said, he did manage to walk. That's a big sign. And there was no ice pack. That's another big sign.
Yeah.
Or no bandages either.
My take on it, yes, it was a brilliantly taken goal. And as a result, Newcastle, who had built up all the momentum, lost the steam after the goal. And we were quickly able to capitalize with the second one as well. But the thing is, with Saka's injury, I'm just hoping that he recovers and then he's fit to face United.
He's not injured. Don't say he's injured. No.
So I'm just hoping that he is fit enough. I'm not saying he's injured, but yeah, should he not be starting for any reasons, then I just have I'm just positive that we've got Martinelli starting in that position. Which could give more options and more width and more pace and all those sort of things than the already overloaded or pacey left flank that we've got in Nuno Tavares.
That is a question actually I was about to get to, is because we keep talking about Pepe a lot in our podcast, and I don't want to linger on it. But again, this was a very clear message, Bob, when he substituted Saka for Martinelli than Pepe. And there was no other explanation to it. We don't have to have a discussion whether is Pepe out of the team now, but it looks like he's out of the team. That's it.
See, it links back to the original discussion that we had at the start of the pod, with Tierney not getting his place back. So it goes on to say, if you don't prove yourself in training, you're not going to get. No matter whatever your price tag says that you are, you're not going to get a starting berth until or unless you prove or convince the manager that you are better than the one that is starting, and which is good. That is how it should be. We all can see the way that Chelsea's substitutions, they look scary, and they can be first team players most of the time in any team that they walk into. Yet they are on bench, and they have to earn that place to be on the starting lineup, and that's exactly how all the 25 members of the squad should be. They should be top notch. Of course, we won't get that ideal state anywhere, but until or unless you prove yourself that you are better than the player that is starting, you're not going to get your place there.
Very true.
True, but
and he's gone down to, if we were to be looking at our available wingers right now, probably he's number 4, I would say, or even if we want to play, I think if you think about it, he probably performs best on the right. I know it's coming from me. It might be this guy was supposed to be the biggest Pepe supporter, but I love Arsenal more. So I just feel even if we were to play Auba on the left, that I think that could possibly be a better wing option right now than what Pepe could be, because of the fact how he has been playing, and we don't seem to be having as easy oppositions, the cup or the Europa League oppositions where he bullies the opposition. We don't seem to be having those games as often anymore. So the need for him to come and replace our play is not as much as before. which is really good in my opinion. Like Bob said, like having those 25 players who know that they have to be good enough and their chance can come at any point is what we have to strive to be. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and that is exactly what I was very happy about. Martinelli coming in and scoring that goal, because I think that was one of his first touches. I don't remember him having a touch. Oh, okay, second touch. But it was a very timed goal. That was, I was going on about how that is the run that we want Auba to be making. Right, that is a run that we want Auba to be making, and that is a cross that I want our wingers to do, not going to the byline and just throwing in a ball and just blasting a ball, hoping
the KT crosses. Yeah.
yeah. But Tomiyasu, that was a brilliant pick for Tomiyasu, and it was started by Martinelli and finished by Martinelli, I guess. That goal, and it was a great finish. It gives a lot more credibility to the Martinelli fan wagon than whatever I was thinking before. So Arun, your thoughts on the goal?
Fantastic goal, fantastic goal. I mean, like it's a really good ball into the box, but then the fact that Martinelli knew where he had to be is what you want from your goal scoring winger or a striker. That's the kind of runs that you want that person who's designated with scoring goals to be doing, which, like you said, unfortunately Auba is not making those runs. It's not just about being where you are and not getting involved in the game. You make these runs and you're going to make life easy. So it was very, very good goal. And this is what we want to see from Martinelli. We start in the next game based on this one goal? I don't know, but would I want to start Martinelli based on this game, based on this goal for the next game? I don't know, but what it gives me is confidence. It gives me that this guy is able to sustain for half an hour. It doesn't at this point, like when you are in need of playing time and in need of getting your confidence back, the opposition doesn't matter. He got a goal, great. Even if he hadn't got a goal and put in a good performance, that would have given the manager some confidence. It gives us fans confidence. I know, like you said, Martinelli fanboys have been talking about him, hyping him up like he's the next Cristiano Ronaldo. Even after he scored the goal, now there were so many video compilations which came comparing his goal to Ronaldo's goal. I'm not slating Martinelli at all, but so far, he has never been consistent enough or injury-free enough to get a continuous run of games in the team. Yes, he played well for this 30 minutes, but I want him to increase it to 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. Then he'll be ready to play the game. And that if he manages to go injury-free. So fantastic goal, fantastic performance, really good for the future and the team. But Martinelli, this is not enough. You have to keep doing this week in, week out when you get the chances. He is impressing, like you guys said, he's probably impressing the manager more than what Pepe is doing at this point. So he's definitely going to get his chances. We have congested fixtures, we have lack of strikers, and we need goals more than anything. We have seen that the goal scored column is still not very good. It's still 6. So to fix that, we need guys who are natural goal scorers, and this guy seems to be one. So it's all about him. I wouldn't put the onus on the manager right now. The manager has given him the performance. He's managed to do it. So it's on him to keep this consistent and show to the manager that he's ready. Another thing is, it also shows he is having the faith in what the manager is doing. As a player, all the talk about Martinelli that we've heard so far has always been from his dad or his agent. I believe they both are the same person. There has never been an instance where Martinelli has come out and said, I am not getting playing time, or I'm worried about not getting playing time. He's never said that. He's just put it in action, which is what you want to see from a player, clearing all the distraction out, especially when he's this young. So very good signs. Keep doing this more, get consistent, and you will be in the team.
Okay. Bob, anything to add, or are we done with this game?
I think Arun has summed up pretty well. So he just needs to be consistent. That's what I'm hoping for from Martinelli.
So, but okay. So let's stop discussion on this game, because we do have to,
who was your man of the match? we didn't talk about man of the match.
I mean, we don't do that very, very often about the man of the match, but for me, it was still Saka. Saka made the team tick when we were not working, when the attack looked stale, when things were not happening. So I still feel that Saka was my man of the match for the game, although Tomiyasu was a strong contender for the man of the match again.
And Bob, what about you, Bob?
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale. So in spite of all these perfectly, like, he looks at the camera and waits to make the save when they take the picture, in spite of all those allegations.
that allegation
See,
was
I'll
made
tell
by
you,
me.
if not for that save from Shelby, we would have been behind.
Right.
And the game could have had a different bearing. So he kept us in the game, and that's what matters.
Nice.
But at the end of the day, Arun, it's all 3 points.
Yeah, it's all 3 points. For me, it's Tomiyasu, so he got me the 3 points. I just wanted to put that in. Tomiyasu needs to be mentioned as the man of the match. It's a selfish way to ask a question.
But okay, so let's talk about the United game. We are gonna go to OT, and Old Trafford is not an easy place to visit. Although they are having, I think it's Carrick, right? Not Ralph.
Take a guess. Yes, it's going to be Carrick. So take a guess in terms of the last time that United scored a goal against us.
Are we having Bob's stat corner right now, Bob?
No. So I just had a few things in mind that I wanted to ask you. That was surprising even for me. The last time that United scored a goal against us
at Old Trafford.
Anywhere.
Oh.
It's very recent, right? Out of the last 6 games that we played, I think one of them was a 2-all draw or 1-all draw, something of that sort.
Yeah.
The last time that they scored a goal against us was September 2019.
Whoa, really? But then it was Ole at the wheel.
I don't want to talk anything further, but there was another ridiculous stat that I looked up.
September 2019. Are you sure? That seems to be
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Last 5 games we have not conceded against. So Arun is quickly browsing through.
I'm just looking at the stats.
Go for it.
No, I'm looking at it. That's true. The last game that we played was a 0-0 draw. Before that, we won the previous 2 games, 1-0, 2-0. And then it was, you're right, September 2019. 2019 was the last time they scored a goal against us. So the last 3 games.
They scored a goal against us.
They scored a goal against us, yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll tell you another ridiculous stat that I read somewhere. Of the games that Arteta has played a team which is named United, be it Leeds or Manchester or Newcastle or whoever, he has never lost. I think he's played them 18 times or so, and he has never lost. He's won 15 of them and has drawn 3.
Well, all this just points to one thing, right? They're going to score goals and they're going to win the game against us.
No, I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying what the stats say. and I can be almost certain in saying that the moment when I spell this out, it's doomsday for us.
That's why I was
also anti-jinxing in a way.
I was trying to cut that off by asking more questions, Bob. But anyway, so as a preview, right? The first question is Arun or Bob. Bob, I'll come to you for this, right? We know that this is United at Old Trafford. Even though they are having Carrick as a caretaker manager, they are still out there to impress Ralph. Coming in, the players are going to look at it, and there was this big cry about leaving out Ronaldo, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to start. Considering all that, do we stick to Nuno Tavares and Sambi Lokonga, or do we go back to Tierney and bring back someone?
I look at the opposition and I feel that we will stick with Nuno Tavares for the left back question, because we've got one Bissaka potentially starting at the right back there, and he is error prone, as we all know. And if at all anyone could force him to make a mistake, it could be Nuno more likely than Tierney, in that regard. And for that, I would think that we would be starting with Tavares on the left back. And as well, I read that Shaw is doubtful. I'm not sure how much doubtful he is, but he is doubtful, having come from a head injury sort of a thing. So we would need Tomiyasu to be fully fit and ready in the right back space for him to counter Shaw. So yes, to answer your question, I see both of them starting.
Oh, That's but even in the midfield, Arun, you're not making any changes, especially United's midfield with us trying to handle Bruno and us trying to handle that skeeving shit of a person, Fred and McTominay, all those.
Yeah, first things first, like Bob said, let's look at the bench. Who do we have there from midfield? Amen or Elneny? I think it's if you like take them out by by.
Remember the last game against United when Elneny was pressing at the 90th minute?
We'll bring him back to press at the 90th minute again. Let's not start him from minute 1. I don't think that would work. So, based on the options that we have, I wouldn't change anything. I would just keep Partey and Sambi. That we need Partey to be dynamic and we need Sambi to continue on the good run. Not the good run, that like the return that he's at. That is very important and he has to put up a big show. For me, it's more than Bruno. I'm just worried about their flat mid three. They have those three guys in Fred, McTominay, and Matic, which would make it really very difficult for us to go past because they make it very flat.
But we don't play through the middle.
I don't know. I'm just like, that's a good point. We don't play through the middle, but I don't know.
That's... be worried about that at all. One thing to be worried about.
Then let's take that out of the equation.
But talking about the middle, right? Odegaard had a stinker of a game for me against Newcastle.
Really?
He didn't do anything.
Too much, I would say.
But he didn't do anything. I mean, he was literally.
His free kick was good.
Yeah, I mean,
even but if you think about it,
players hitting the target in the first
place. And in the first half, nobody did anything. Saka didn't do anything. Yesa didn't do anything. Like the thing is also, you have to remember that Odegaard is coming back after a break. And he right now is in a situation where he knows his place is not certain and prevented him from actually getting a goal. so like all these factors are playing. And in the second half, he did impose himself on the game. He was like making all those passes. He's not the kind of player who's going to give you like a blockbuster assist. He's the one who's like able to get out from tight spaces, which is very essential for the way we are playing our game. Be it like whether we are chasing or whether we want to score a goal, that is very essential, especially against low block teams. So he did impose himself in the second half. And I believe that, like if he gets more playing time, he's going to do much better. Plus, given the lack of options, I see him being
so you're gonna. But for me, the question is right because United has a Maguire is back, and Auba is not a physical presence with occupying the centre backs. That's where Lacazette kind of helps him out, being the secondary physical presence over there, which Odegaard is not able to give, will not be able to give at this point in time. So, Bob, do you see Odegaard starting or do you see Lacazette coming back?
I feel it makes me think that we will start with Lacazette, like how we did. I mean, the similar lineup that we did against Liverpool here, because Lacazette will help force one or two players with him, and then he'll try and create positions for others to slot in, and then even possibly score. So I feel Lacazette would get a starting nod because he is very vital in big games. That's the way that I've seen. So I think Lacazette would be getting the nod ahead of Odegaard.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel so too. I think it's like more because it's an away game. And we need to have someone who can provide us with a physical presence there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like if we do manage to score a goal and if we're leading the game or like we want to play out a draw, I think at that point to keep the ball, I think like exhaust Laka out like we normally do by 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then after that bring Odegaard to keep the ball.
Yeah. So Arun, I'll stick with you with starting off the danger men for both the sides. Let's talk about who it is going to be about Arsenal and about United, who's going to be very critical in this game.
United's critical players, number one, De Gea for sure. Like it's the basic law. Anyone who plays against it.
But that means that we are going to try and shoot a lot more.
Given how we've been playing, I think like we will definitely try and shoot. But whatever we do, anything that goes into the box, that guy is going to be like a spider. You need something tricky like what Xhaka did, like make him think the ball is going to go to the left and then curve it at the last moment and make it go right, wrong footed. We need like goals like that, some tricky goals to go through this one. Yeah, so De Gea is going to be like one big factor. Another one is Bruno. I know he's always slated for not performing against like, the big six teams, but this is a game at home, and I think he's due a good performance as well. So given how Sambi has been like, sort of shaky, and Partey has not been in the best of forms. He's being functional, but that's not what we got him for. And he's not able to express himself in the absence of Xhaka as much as we would like him to. Bruno's presence is going to be very crucial, more than anyone. So if we're not like very vigilant in the midfield, he's going to run riot.
And for Arsenal?
For Arsenal, the entire team, like I usually say. But if no, the danger man causing danger to us would be the entire team, but the danger man causing danger to the opposition from our side. ESR is due a good game. He's sort of like, looked out of position in the last two games that we played. And the last two games involved Liverpool as well, which is a big six team. So if we were to be going by that logic, ESR is due a good game. So I believe that he would be sort of a danger man for them. Also, their right is Wan-Bissaka, and we know that Wan-Bissaka is not like, someone who's as involved in both attack and defense. So if you put him in a very defensive position, he's not going to come and attack. So that makes again this follow very crucial, given that Sancho would be starting on the right. So you want to keep Sancho quiet and to make Wan-Bissaka work. So I would say ESR would probably. I want him to have a good game and be the impact man. Let me put it there.
Okay, Bob.
I'll say I have three danger men from United. So maybe I'll start with Sancho, because Sancho has been unleashed. Ole is not at the wheel anymore. So which means that Sancho is playing. I mean, he was a ridiculously poaching goal that he scored against Chelsea. Much to my surprise, because he was lack on confidence, and then even with that, he made the right decision to score against Mendy, who was pretty much in form. So I feel Sancho would be pretty much a big goal threat, and we have to be really careful with him. The second one, of course, as Arun said, would be Bruno Fernandes, because he has got the knack to rile up or put himself up in some of these important games, and I feel it has got all the potential for him to shine against us as a second one. And then probably the last and the most obvious one would be Ronaldo, I would say, because even though he's getting old and everything,
and he lost his
Pogba has haunted us enough in the past. So I can't just wipe my memories suddenly and say, oh, no, he's old and he can't score against us. That's not the case anymore. We are still vulnerable. Ronaldo can still come back to haunt us. So and it has got all the potential.
And he's angry too. He's angry
because of the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. So which means that there is a very high chance that we will get punished through him. So that's for United danger men. In terms of us, as like what Arun said, I feel Smith Rowe is very vital for us, with the pockets of space that we are going to create, with us pulling out players by Lacazette or Auba. Smith Rowe can penetrate through spaces, and if we can actually exploit one or two, and then even go on to score, that would be fantastic for us. One question that I feel very key in all the United games that we've played recently so far is the midfield. And then Partey has to be on top of his game if we were to even think of 1 point, to come out of it. So it's going to be very difficult. And I feel more difficult, or I feel worried facing this game more than any other time, because as I said earlier, Ole is not the wheel. He's not at the wheel anymore. So which means that they are more organized, as what I found in the last two games that they've played without him. With their newfound confidence and all those sort of things, it could be more that they are on the front foot and then we would be on the back foot, sort of a thing. So we have to be compact. We have to just keep ourselves organized, stick to the plan, and then make sure that we don't do anything sloppy for us to even come back at 1 point.
Interesting. For me, United, I think it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. because he usually steps up when he's angry. So that is as much as I hate to admit it, but that is true. And for Arsenal, I think it is more about us not making any mistakes, especially with our wing backs, because I think they would be put under a lot of, or our full backs who will be put under a lot of pressure in this game. And I think there would be some kind of a, Bob mentioned we were lucky with our with the refereeing decision in the last game. I don't think we would be as lucky with our refereeing decisions at Old Trafford. So if we make a mistake, that's where we would be hurt, and our fullbacks are the ones that would be put under a lot of pressure. So if they have a decent enough game like the last game, I think we would come out with something better. But again, let's let's go ahead and do our predictions so that we could wrap this up a bit. So Bob, what are your predictions for the game?
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Are you going to predict the scorers? Try and predict the scorers.
I'll take a guess. Ronaldo, yes, for United, and then I somehow feel we'll get a goal from Oba. I don't know why I feel this every time, but I
maybe you should stop feeling that for some time. Maybe he'll score a goal.
See, I to be honest, I put myself off the pod as well a few times to see if in case it's hurt. It's not.
It's a thought. It's a thought.
Arsenal fans and their superstitions. So, but Arun, yeah. Go ahead with your predictions.
It's either going to be a 2-1 or a 1-0 loss for us.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I feel.
Any predictions on who it's
the goal scorer? Yeah, I think it's the 2 goals for them. I think it's going to be 2 of these 3: Sancho, Ronaldo, Bruno.
Okay. Yeah, I think the optimistic that I could be is 1-1 draw, like Bob was mentioning, but the realist in me is saying that it's going to be a 2-1 or a 3-1 loss to United.
We won. Wow.
Yeah.
3-1 loss to United?
I mean, 3-1 loss to us. I mean, okay. We are going to lose to
but
them.
But still, 3-1 is not good, man.
Yeah. But that's what I'm thinking. And I would be happy if that was a jinx and we end up, increasing our run
goal
of...
difference.
But anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for joining in today. It's been amazing. A double episode, a double game in one episode. And for those who has stuck with us listening all the way through, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment on your on your thoughts on the game and everything. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Talk to you next week.
Thank you. Bye.